Hello and welcome to Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why, and how of newspaper analysis. My name is Shashank Singh, and today we are going to discuss 5 topics from the perspective of UPSC examination. From the perspective of mains, we are going to discuss the issues related to transgenders because there was a news article which is kind of analysis of 10 years of landmark judgment of Nalsa, where Supreme Court gave the interpretation and gave its verdict that transgender people enjoys equal right as any other person in country. Second, we will discuss the reconstituted juices because FSSAI came up with a recommendation regarding labeling of reconstituted juices. Third, we will discuss the dropout rates in schools because there is a study, there is a data of 1 year session in Delhi government schools, and it has found that a large number of students have not came back in the next season. Then from prelims perspective, we will take up rules under Representation of People Act 1951, basically related to those candidates who have been elected from different seats simultaneously. Then we will take one MCQ based on greater adjutant. So let us begin our discussion with the first article of today's session, that is the third wave. It appeared on the I section of Indian Express newspaper, and as I told you that this article is related to assessment of 10 years of Nalsa judgment, which came in the year 2014, and it gave the identity to transgenders as the third gender. And Supreme Court said that this third gender enjoys same right as any other citizen of India. So this news article has given some case studies in order to assess the situation, that what has improved, what has not. Why we have taken up, because vulnerable section has been mentioned in your syllabus, and if you will go by the PYQs, the most of the questions based on gender issues are directly related to male versus female, or you can say limited to this aspect. But you can any day, because geriatrics, they have asked a specific question based on geriatrics, old age people, and they form the vulnerable section, and so is the issue with transgender. So you can expect any question in future. Further, from the perspective of essay paper, whenever they will give you the topic based on gender, if it is not specifically mentioning that it is related to male versus female debate, you should and you must mention the issues related to transgender also. That will enrich your content and will help you in getting more marks in essay. So keep this thing in mind. Whenever there is a topic related to gender issue in your essay paper, do mention issues of transgender. So in this discussion, what we will see what has been highlighted in this article, along with some challenges faced by the transgender, why they are facing these challenges, and what are these challenges. And we will conclude our discussion with a small conclusion, with a small way forward. So what are the challenges? If you will talk, we can segregate the major challenges under 6 heads. First is the legal and administrative challenges. Now the legal and administrative challenges starts with the issue of identity itself. Now, as we talked about the Nalsa judgment of 2014, government came up with the Transgender Protection Act in the year 2019. But there are some issues with this act. First is that in order to get the identity, the documents related to identity, one need to present a certificate related to the surgery or treatment which proves that you have changed your gender, then only the authority will issue the identity. Now, issue is this: where is the concept of self determination? You are taking away the right of self determination, because Supreme Court said that they enjoy equal right as any other person. So if a male is declaring that I am a male, you will give them the ID card that yes, name is this, age is this, gender is this. But in case of transgenders, they have to produce this certificate of surgery or treatment. This is the first issue. Second issue is that this act is was supposed to remain gender neutral, but issue came with the provisions related to this act. Now, first issue is that the punishment of sexual abuse is lower than those given to the sexual abuse against women. Now, if you will look into the IPC section 498A, it says that punishment for violence against or sexual abuse against women can go up to 3 years. But in case of transgender, it is from 6 months to 2 years. So these kind of discrepancies are they act as a hurdle for the transgenders to enjoy their right in a complete manner or a holistic manner. Secondly, the social stigma and discrimination. Now, what is this social stigma? This social stigma results into exclusion, ostracization, and abuses. Abuses both verbal and physical. And definitely it is going to take a mental toll. Now, a study by National Institute of Mental Health and Neuroscience in 2018 highlighted the fact that out of total transgenders in India, around 31% are facing issue of depression, and around 21% are facing issue of anxiety. Further, this exclusion impact their economic, educational, and every aspect of life. For example, the study done by National Human Rights Commission highlighted that only about 62% around 62% of population of transgender do not attend school beyond class 10th because of several reasons: the discrimination, the stigma, the bullying, the abuse. 62% do not attend beyond 10th, class 10th. Further, such exclusion, now this news article highlights another issue, that the disease of HIV is pretty much prevalent in this particular population, and as per the census of 2011, they stand at around 4,90,000. Now, this is definitely a lower number than what is the actual situation. Because of this stigma and prejudices, people are apprehensive about recording themselves as transgender. So this number can be said that it is not the actual number. So out of this 4,90,000 population, most of them, because of this exclusion and abuse, are forced towards the sex rackets or becoming a sex worker. Now, HIV is pretty much prevalent. Now, there was a recommendation of creating separate HIV units for transgender, but it has not been implemented. Secondly, the cost is very high. So it impacts the affordability, accessibility. Further, this news article says that many of those who were interviewed, they said that when they visited the hospital for test, they faced discrimination and humiliation by in the hands of the psychiatrist and the hospital staffs, because there is lack of sensitivity towards their issue and their status. So this is what is related to social stigma and discrimination. Now, why there is a persistent stigma and discrimination? It lies in the social construct of gender categorization in binary terms. Now, in our society, we are accustomed with a model of categorizing gender either male or female. Now, we have given them, we have kind of made some rules and societal construct that this gender is fit for this role, this is how they should behave. Now, anyone who is behaving otherwise or anyone who is not conforming to these gender assigned gender roles is kind of seen as a problematic element. Now, this rigid binary distribution, in this rigid binary categorization, transgenders do not find place anywhere. So, this is the root cause of this persistent social stigma and discrimination. Now, due to this exclusion, abuse, and other issues, this culminates into economic challenges. Now, as per National Human Rights Commission, 92% of transgenders are not involved in any kind of economic activity. So, what happened in previous topic, we saw that exclusion, discrimination, and this lack of employment opportunity pushes them towards the sex racket or sex work. Now, this is problematic. Those who are marginalized are again being pushed to further margins. Now, this is one issue. Now, lack of this economic opportunity definitely going to affect their quality of life. Let's take for example, they face problems related to renting and buying the property, because owners are apprehensive once they know that their gender identity, they are reluctant to rent out their property. Further, if they are going to buy something, they are going to face the discrimination, and neighborhood will be upfront to oppose any transgender to buy property in their vicinity. Now, this has been highlighted in the news article only. So, these kind of economic deprivation further accentuate their problem. Now comes the challenge of community support and representation. Now, why to say community support? These people are generally thrown out of their houses at a very tender stage. They face exclusion from their family itself. So, this exclusion somehow from family and then community, this kind of exclusion kind of creates a hurdle and impacts their capability altogether, leave alone accessibility of other resources. When they are either they are being hidden by their families, their identities is being kept away from the normal people, or they are totally excluded or ostracized by the community and the family itself. So definitely it will impact their ability to achieve the requisite set of educational qualification, the economic prosperity, and everything. Further, the point comes to the representation. Now, this representation, what we mean by this term representation, if you can recall, the if you will exclude 2-3 recent movies, that transgenders are either shown as a comedian or a villain. Now, movies have a very big role in constructing the mental framework of their watchers or the consumers. So, definitely, since last 40-50 years, if you are showing one section of population as a comedian or as a villain, definitely their public perception is not going to improve, and it will further get entrenched into what we can say that the negative image of theirs. So, this is one thing. Another issue is the cultural and religious challenges. Now, what to say about culture? Now, our society is characterized by rigid caste and community identity. Now, they have their own set of rules. rules regarding how you should behave, how you should look, what should you wear. Now, anyone who is going against or not conforming to these norms, the social construct, definitely will be looked upon as odd one out. And they face these challenges. Next comes the religious issues. Now, scriptures, the religious text, they somewhere mention it as a something which is immoral or unnatural, then again making a negative perception towards these people, this section of population. Now, lastly, the challenge lies in the education and awareness, and we have already discussed their a limited scope of getting educated, getting job. They are being, because in this article only they have given one case study where one person who is employed as a manager in a big firm, that person told that discrimination is there in the office, and they have to resort to give a warning or to give a frequent complaint to higher authority regarding those harassments. So this is the situation. So when we talk about women, we talk about glass ceiling, that promotion will not be given, pay disparity, and sexual abuse at workplace. But this kind of mental torture and harassment on a daily basis is definitely taking a toll on this section of population. Now, this is not about just their education and awareness. They face challenges because of lack of education and awareness in other section of population. Because our curriculum has not been updated and it does not talk about the gender diversity. And that is why, if you can recall, that news article has highlighted that because of when they are going to hospital for their medical checkup, they are feeling humiliated. Just because of this, we have not been taught the gender diversity. We have not been taught about this third gender. So definitely, whatever the person is behaving around the third gender or the transgender is mainly influenced by the social construct, what you are listening to, what you are watching to, or what you have been told about. So your behavior will depend upon that. So these are the challenges and their reasons. Now, what is the solution? The solution lies because the problem is multifaceted. It is deeply rooted in the socio-cultural aspect of the society. So definitely it is going to take time. It is not an overnight job that you will change the socio-cultural norms and philosophy of any community. But what we can do, we can bring out parity in terms of legal aspect, that at least make them equal to what are the provisions related to female are or males are there. Second, what we can do, we can improve, we can include the education related to gender diversity in our curriculum. So we can start early with the sensitization of students. Thirdly, what we can do, we can promote more inclusivity by giving them reservation and all, because this act of 2019 doesn't talk about reservation, and at present Karnataka is the only state which gives 1% of reservation in civil services. And this news article talks about experience of one transgender person who got selected in this service, and that person has quoted that the staff, the seniors, subordinates are treating them very well. So this is a welcome step, and this is a good example which you can use it in your answer writing. And much has to be done related to the inclusivity in job and employment generation for them, health facilities for them. These things can be done at the level of government, and definitely in long run, if education model gets updated, in long run, I can say things will improve and the acceptance will improve. So that brings us to the second news article of today's session, again featured on the I page of Indian Express newspaper. It reads as, is 100% fruit juice healthy for blood sugar? Now, as I told you that Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, that is FSSAI, has come up with a recommendation that is mainly directed towards those companies who are giving an advertisement or labeling their product as 100% fruit juice. Now, problem with this reconstituted fruit juice is that it is not 100% fruit juice. We will discuss what it is and what it constitutes and why it is problematic. So basically, FSSAI is saying that that you are labeling your product as 100% fruit juice while it is containing various additives which have which are acting as a diluting factor to a pure fruit juice. So this is matter of transparency where you are making false claims to the consumers, and it has its own set of health implication to the consumers. So it has given a recommendation that they should be labeled properly and not the claim of 100% fruit juice should not be made. Now, from your GS perspective, the regulatory bodies have been mentioned in GS paper 2, governance part, as well as food processing industry and related uh, issues are mentioned in GS paper 3. So in this discussion, we will be saying at what is this reconstituted fruit juice, how it is made, and then we will see the health implication or issues related to consumption of this reconstituted fruit juice. So what is reconstituted fruit juice? A simple process to understand. You will harvest a fruit, let's say orange, from your farm. Then you will extract the juice from it. Now, juice is 80% of water. So what this process includes is you will remove this water from the juice in this step. So what is remaining? The concentrated pulp. Concentrated pulp, which will have a high nutrient density because you have removed the water. It will have a longer shelf life. You can transport it. And one more important thing, that from this extract, this pulp concentrate, now if you will juice one good quality of orange, you may get 50 ml of juice. But using this concentrate, you can make 100 to 200 ml of orange juice. So this can be stored. Then what happens once you will reach with this pulp to the production site, again the H2O will be added. Plus some fresh juice will be added. Plus there are multiple additives which are to be added, like vitamins, sugar, etc. Now, this is the problematic part. Now, you are claiming that this juice is 100% fruit juice. But in reality, this was the stage where the 100% fruit juice was there, and now you are diluting it with additives and water. So definitely the core characteristic of juice are not there. Second major problem is sugar, which is in form of, generally in form of high fructose corn syrup. Now this is the problematic part, and consumption of this sugar is leading to various health implications. And that is why authority has directed them to label it properly with what is the constituent and removing the label of 100% fruit juice, because it is not 100% fruit juice. It has several additives. So what are the health impacts? First is the increased risk of obesity. Now, this fructose syrup or just to understand that sugar. Now, if you are taking these bottle juice, it will not give you that fulfillness, the feeling of being fulfilled, the satiety. So you will end up consuming more and more and more, because the natural food which gives you that sense of fulfillment is not there. What you will get by having a fruit directly or juice directly at the first stage with its fiber is not being provided in these juices. So you will end up taking more and more calories, which increases the risk of obesity. Now, second issue is metabolic disorder. Now, this sugar content, this high sugar content results into insulin resistance, which is precursor to type 2 diabetes. Further, it also elevates the level of triglycerides, which in turn raise the risk of developing cardiovascular diseases. In simple terms, heart related ailments. So metabolic disorder also is there. Then comes the liver health. Now you are overloading the liver with fat. Now how it will happen, that liver will start converting this fructose into fat, and you will end up having non-alcoholic fatty liver, which impairs the proper functioning of liver itself, and in long run it is detrimental to the overall health of the individual. Now next comes the nutritional displacement. As we discussed, that it does not have that fiber content. Now this fiber is very important for the digestive system, insulin level, all these things. The fiber system is very important, while these packaged drinking juices are missing this fiber. So definitely you are not taking fiber, you are taking more and more sugar. So nutrition that is required for your overall digestive system is missing. Now comes the dental health issue. Now higher sugar content promotes bacterial growth, which in turn produces acids, and which are detrimental to the teeth enamels. Then it will result into cavities and other issues. Now definitely when adults are facing such challenges, children have a tendency, they have a taste which bends towards sugar based food products. They have a general natural liking towards it. So it kind of consumption at early ages results into poor dietary habits. And then when they grow up, they are going to face all these issues. So for this, the authority has come up with following regulatory measures, which talks about it directs the manufacturer to use more accurate labeling, and from September 1, companies must stop using misleading labels and start identifying their product as sweetened juice if they contain 15 gram per kg of nutritive sweetener, more than 15 gram per kg of nutritive sweetener. And it can be anything: sugar, jaggery, or corn syrup. Now, What is the exception? The products which are non-nutritive, which cannot be processed by the body, are exempted. And as we told that it aims at increasing the transparency in product labeling, allowing consumers to make a more informed decision and choices. Now, the third news article that we are going to take up today is based on this news finding, which featured on page number 4 of Indian Express newspaper. Now, Delhi Commission for Protection of Child Right, that is DCPCR, it has a system that is early warning system. Now, this early warning system has come up with very starking discovery that those who enrolled themselves in previous session of school, out of them 2.73 lakh have did not come back. They have given multiple reasons, and these reasons are corroborating with the what we have learned till date, that what are the reasons for high dropout rates in Indian education system. Because you can see here the most of the people who have skipped the school or are absent from the school have given the reason of sickness, that they are absent because of their poor health. Second reason that has been given to is the, like cities like Delhi, people from all around the country, all over the country come to Delhi. Now, the second largest reason that has been given of being absent is related to the moving back to the native place, or temporary moving out to some other place. So we can write the migration is the second biggest reason. Now, the third reason is the changing of school. Now, total 22 reasons have been highlighted by this report, this finding. Why we have taken up? Because issues relating to the health, education, etc. has been mentioned in your GS paper 2 social justice part. So you can use these points to enrich your answer whenever there is a question regarding the issues pertaining to Indian education system and high dropout rates, because you will you will come out of any system, you will not take, you will not avail facility of any system once the facilities that are being provided become ineffective, or you may say is of no use for you. Second, if you will lose interest. Third, if you are failing in that particular field or activity. These are broader, there can be multiple reasons, but these are the broader reason when one decides to come out of a particular system, basically the education system. So we will look into the aspects of what are the reasons of high dropout rate in Indian schools. So the first reason is economic. Now, the prevalent poverty. Now, prevalent poverty sometimes forces one to focus more on finding the solution for their financial constraints or crisis. Now, giving priority to education takes a backseat, and removing the financial constraint becomes the priority. So a child or a kid, people of the family, they start looking at him or her as a resource to earn more. So the prevalence of child labor, so they prefer to take out their children from schools and to get them involved in child labor, whether it is in some other's business or their home business, because financial security becomes the priority over the education. Second is Assuring free and compulsory education is one thing, but there are several associated issues and associated, you may say, nitty-gritties related to education. You need to buy uniform, you need to buy books, you need to buy stationery item, you need to travel to some places. For that also you need money. Now this poverty also impacts the affordability aspect, and that's why people opt out from the schools. And if we can go back to the report itself, you will see a very starking finding that dropout number of dropout students has suddenly increased from class 6th till class 5th. It is around it is in the range of 1000 to 3000, but suddenly in class 6th it is 31000. So primary education is fine, elementary education is fine, but after that it is becoming, the dropout becoming even more prominent. So economic reason remains the poverty, and poverty induced child labor and cost of education altogether. Now second reason is the socio cultural aspect of our society, which manifests in form of gender discrimination, caste discrimination, which definitely creates an unwelcoming environment in the school. For if you will talk about the gender, the education of a male child is preferred by the parents over the female child. So definitely the chances are less for a female student to pursue with her career in education, and caste rigidities which is prevailing in our society sometimes creates an unwelcoming environment in the school itself. Second reason is that if the generation prior to the current generation is itself illiterate, they put little value to the education altogether, because they don't it is not true for entire population, but there is a huge chunk of population who themselves are illiterate, and they give little value to the education for their next generation. Then the third issue is the quality of education itself in terms of infrastructure, quality of teachers, vacancies of teachers, sanitation, hygiene, and its lack of linkages with the, you may say, the economic need of the country or the society. Because once, as we discussed earlier, that you will lose interest in something when it stops serving your purpose. So if for a youngster it becomes futile, or it becomes something unnecessary, or it becomes something very casual, that person is not going to get job after the education, they may prefer to switch into some business or to some work at a very early stage, because for them the value of education or the need or purpose of education is not there. They are getting education with an aim of getting a job, but once they realize that this education is not going to give me a job, they will simply drop out from the school and will engage themselves at an early stage in their home business or some other business. Now there are some systemic issues, like the rigid curriculum, which focuses more on the rote learning rather than active participation. You will be given a text, you have to memorize it, you have to write an exam, and you will pass that exam. What is the practical application, what is the use of it in your daily life? We pay very less emphasis on such issues, and this kind of acts as a factor which creates a hurdle, and students start feeling detached from the teachings. So this becomes a very big reason. Then we have discussed the lack of relevance with the current economic demand. So these reasons are pretty much, you can term them as systemic issues. Then comes the health and nutrition. As you have seen, that sickness has been given the one of the biggest reason of being absent from the school. So, health and nutrition. Now, if your health is not up to mark, definitely your performance or your capability to retain things and perform well will decline. Definitely, if nutritional deficiencies are there, you are not going to be in a good shape, mental and physical. It will lead to the chronic absenteeism and ultimate dropout from the school. So this has been seen in the recent studies. Then comes lastly the geographic factor. Now in village area, remote areas, schools are located far away from the community where the community is living. So distance become an issue majorly for women and females, mostly for the females due to security reasons. So distance becomes one of the main cause. Then comes the natural disaster or calamities which kind of cut off these population from the access to the school. You might have seen the scenes of students being transported through boats and makeshift boats by police personals and all those scenes. So kind of whenever natural calamity occur, it kind of accentuate or acts as a further barrier and disincentivize the want of going and joining the school and continuing with your education. Apart from this, as I told you that this report has highlighted around 22 reasons, some very interesting reason that has been mentioned in this report are that prevalence of child marriage. And why I am saying this, because this is a report from a metropolitan city of Delhi. Many have recorded the reason of child marriage, sexual abuse, corporal punishment, and bullying. So these are some other reasons which have been recorded by the respondents that due to sexual abuse, child marriage, corporal punishment, and bullying, they are not willing to continue their schooling. So, as you can see, where lies the solution? The solution lies as there are stakeholders. Solution lies there. First is the government itself. They must increase the expenditure on education by creating good infrastructure, sanitation facility, which kind of which can prove to be lucrative for students to come to school and involve in the learning process. Second, we must revamp the curriculum altogether, which engages the students. It engages them at different levels and kind of improves their interest in education. Thirdly, we must teach the community about we must spread awareness about importance of education in community, and we must focus on eliminating the issue of gender and caste discrimination, which is proving to be hurdle in path of many. So that's all from the section of mains discussion. Let's take up the prelims question of today's session. Now, this first question is based on this news article which featured on page number 1 of the Hindu newspaper. The Congress Working Committee has urged Rahul Gandhi to take over as leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. As you know that Rahul Gandhi has won from 2 seats, Raebareli and Wayanad. So they have asked him to take up the seat of leader of opposition, which otherwise will go to Mallikarjun Kharge, who is leading the Congress bloc since the last election. So UPSC has been asking question based on various provisions, rules, regulations, conventions related to parliament. As you can see, they have in 2018 asked the question based on legislative assemblies. So we have taken up a question based on based on the topic of a person getting elected simultaneously from 2 different seats. So because many leaders in this particular election, the 18th Lok Sabha, which will start, and many leaders are there who have been elected either from two different Lok Sabha parliamentary seats. Many are there who are already Rajya Sabha member, that is member of upper house, but are now elected as a member of lower house, that is House of People, Lok Sabha. So we have taken a question on that, because in case of Rahul Gandhi also, he has to take a decision whether he will keep the Wayanad seat or the seat from Raebareli in Uttar Pradesh. So there are provisions, procedures and timelines for affecting this. And what are they? Basically, they are mentioned in the Representation of People Act of 1951. So there are three major scenarios. First is if a person gets elected simultaneously in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now let's assume a person who is there contesting the election of Rajya Sabha also and Lok Sabha also. He is not a member right now, but now he is contesting and he won both the seats. Now it is not possible that he can be member of both the house at the same time. So he has to decide upon this issue, that which house he prefers to, which house he wants to join. So for that, section 68 subclause 1 gives the directive that if a person is elected simultaneously to both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, what he has to do, he has to intimate within 10 days to whom? Secretary to Election Commission of India, that which seat he wants to continue with within 10 days. Okay, so this is one thing that he need to tell, that which seat he wants to continue with. Now if he fails to intimate Secretary to Election Commission within 10 days, the seat in Rajya Sabha, that is upper house, lies vacant in this case. Now section 69. Now section 69 talks about another situation. Now let's say a person is member of Rajya Sabha. Now he is elected to member of Lok Sabha, that is lower house. Now what will be done? If he gets elected to other house, let's say he is member of upper house, elected to lower house, automatically his membership to upper house, that is the previous house, is lies vacant. Okay, so now he will be automatically member of Lok Sabha, not the Rajya Sabha. Now vice versa, if a member of lower house, that is Lok Sabha, is contesting an election for Rajya Sabha and he wins that election, so automatically his membership of Lok Sabha will be dissolved and will lie vacant, and he will become member of Rajya Sabha. Now if a person is elected to two Lok Sabha seat, as is the case with Mr. Rahul Gandhi, so he has to intimate within 14 days that which seat he wants to continue with, otherwise both of his seats shall fall vacant if he fails to intimate within 14 days. Now another situation is, if a member is already a member of a state legislative assembly and he has won the election as a member of Lok Sabha or the lower house, he must resign from the state legislative assembly within 14 days, otherwise his seat in Lok Sabha will fall vacant. Now let's see the question and find the correct answer. Statement 1 says, if a person is simultaneously elected to both the houses of the parliament, he must intimate within 30 days. Now this is wrong. He must intimate within 10 days in which house he desires to serve. So this statement is incorrect. Second statement says, if sitting MP, a current MP of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, is elected to other house, his seat in the first house becomes vacant. This is a correct statement. If he is Right now, at present, sitting MP of Lok Sabha, his seat in Lok Sabha will lie vacant. If he is current member of Rajya Sabha, his seat in Rajya Sabha will lie vacant. Third statement, if a person is elected on 2 Lok Sabha seats, he has to resign one seat within 10 days. Here you saw that he has to resign one seat in 14 days, not 10 days. So as you had to find the correct statement, answer would be A, that is only 1. Now, this news article is talking about the shrinking territory, that is habitat of the adjutant, the greater adjutant, and it featured on page number 19 of the Hindu newspaper. UPSC has been asking question based on species and biodiversity. As you can see, in 2014, they have given you a description of a bird, and they have asked that which of the following given example relates to this description. So we have taken up a question based on greater adjutant. So before solving the question, let us see the details regarding this bird species. You can see here in this picture a long-necked crane species it is, and it is it long-necked stork family, belong to stork family, and there are around 20 species, and it is locally known as Hargila in Assam. Now, habitat, as per the information, was once it covered around across South and Southeast Asia, but now it is shrinking, and mainly found in India. And breeding population, the two of the most important breeding grounds are in Assam and in Bhagalpur in Bihar. So if you will see the first statement of question, the Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand are the only known breeding ground for it. This is incorrect because the largest breeding ground is in Assam and second is Bhagalpur. Apart from the Indian breeding grounds, it has a breeding population in Cambodia also. IUCN status is endangered, and if you will see the second statement that it is listed as vulnerable, this is also incorrect. So your answer would be D, that is neither one nor two. Now, if you want to know the significance of this bird related to Indian culture, it is revered as the mount of Lord Vishnu, and people term it as Garud Maharaj. So, and how it helps, because it helps farmer by killing rats and other farm pests, and the challenges that it is facing is due to the shrinking wetlands and trees as their nesting ground. They nest on trees, but loss of trees in their population area and shrinking wetlands, which is source of their food, are two of the major causes of decline in their population. So that is all for today's session. If you like our initiative, do like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you have any doubt, you can drop your question in the comment box. Our team will respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching today's session. Stay tuned for more such updates.